Hello everyone, this is NS Alters, and today I'll be showing you how I painted this Mulldrifter. So starting with that neutral background, as always. And first I'm going to start with the sky. So you'll notice that it's actually almost a gray right at the horizon. It's got a bit of like yellow in it, and it's only a very slight light blue. So it takes me a moment to find a blue that I like, and then from that blue, I tone it down. You see I'm adding in yellow and gray, and really trying to desaturate it on the horizon. We work that in a little bit, and I think that's pretty close, so we'll leave it there. Next up with the next part of the background are the trees. And so I just go with like a nice dark green, and then I also just start filling in approximate matches for the rest of the edges of the card. Working with these Liquitex paints, they don't go on very thick, but they do mix really nicely, so you get a lot of rich colors, but you do have to make multiple layers. If you go with something like Citadel paints or Vallejo paints, they tend to be a lot thicker, but they don't blend quite as nice, and they also dry a lot faster, which can be difficult when working with these beginning parts of the painting. But you can see here, like I'm adding colors, I'm mixing them around, I'm keeping my brush wet, keeping the palette wet, and that allows your colors to really find their place. And once I'm generically happy with the color of the ground, I start working in some details. So doing the shadow there. There's a slight halo effect from the original art on the edge of the shadow that just gives it nicer contrast, so I worked that in too. And then here, just putting the light over the tops of the trees. And you can see that I also very subtly painted in the trunk of the tree right behind the tur in Mulldrifter. And it's pretty subtle, but it's there. Painting in the little white butterflies. At the very end, you'll notice that I came back and I brightened them up a little bit. But here I'm just using straight white, just painting directly on with a very thin brush. It's very important when doing cloudy textures like that trail behind the Mulldrifter, to do it in multiple layers and to always use very wet paint. What really sells that deep effect is having lots of smooth gradations. So you want the colors to blend nicely, to be lots of thin layers, and then you're going to get that really nice depth. And the butterflies themselves, since they're more tangible, you can paint those on with just solid white paint. And then to push them into the background more, you can put thin layers on top of them, and you'll see that I do that at the very end. I come back and I sort of put a cloud over top of them. And now that we're done with the butterflies, we can come in and make the grass that's whipping by a nice bright yellow for the blurred out grass. And then we're using the wet palette here to its advantage to really blend those colors. You'll notice that my brush strokes are even going in the same direction as the Mulldrifter, to sort of add the illusion of movement even further. And then we're finishing off with just some blurring lines right at the bottom there, painting them in a few different tones. And then you'll see here I come back and I'm adding a cloudy white over top of the butterflies just to sell the effect a little more. Then the last step is cleaning up those edges with my pick and signing the card. And we're done. And there it is, one Mulldrifter ready to be flickered to your heart's content. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. Or if you'd like to see me alter a specific card, please leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.